Unfortunately, I was trying to do the live stream, but for some reason YouTube, something with their configuration is messed up right now. And so my videos have no audio when I try to do live stream. So I'm going to do this as a recorded video. And we're talking about Jaime Mungia and his win over Gary O'Sullivan. It was a good fight. Debut Jaime Mungia at middleweight. O'Sullivan's a tough, durable character. It was a good test for Jaime Mungia. He showed some improvements in his game. He had to fight mostly off the back foot because O'Sullivan was a very aggressive fighter coming forward. He showed some really good body choices of attack, so he launched a lot of attack on the body. He had decent head movement. He has improved from the last time we saw him, not getting hit as flush as before. Of course, he was facing a much better opponent with less power. O'Sullivan did get his opportunities and tagged Jaime Mungia at certain points in the fight. He did hurt him at certain points in the fight. But one of the good things that Jaime Mungia showed was a beautiful jab. His jab was really on point. That was something that was really working in his fight. He was very patient and systematic in how he was going about breaking down O'Sullivan. He was listening to Eric Morales' advice. And as a result of that, he really had a very good win against O'Sullivan, stopping him late in the fight. In the 11th round, his corner throwing in the towel. That's O'Sullivan's corner. And he stopped O'Sullivan. Now, one of the down points of this whole thing, and something that Jaime Mungia has to work on in his game, was he was warned consistently for low blows. He had hit O'Sullivan low a number of times in this fight. It reminded me of Abner Mars versus the African champion, hitting a guy continuously low below the belt. That does sap some of the energy, especially if the guy is not a top-tier opponent. Now, O'Sullivan's not a top-tier middleweight. However, Jaime Mungia was able to successfully break him down. I am what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like the content that I have on my channel, those of you who know me, shout out to Get This Smoke. Shout out to Tommy Temper, who has been very supportive of me in 2019. We look forward to a successful 2020 to Get This Smoke and Tommy Temper. Hope everything's working out with both of you guys. And, of course, the people who continuously support my channel, like Pooby Sistrunk. We have Ramirez, and of course the funny Mike Alvarado TBE. I like that you guys come through my channel, support it. I thank you so very much. I hope that you guys do very well for the for 2020 this year. Some food just came up and choked me. I do have a little bit of acid reflux problem still, 2 years after the point of really having bad acid reflux issues. I still have to keep my eye on the ball. Nonetheless, it's really good talking about this fight. At the end of the fight, Jaime Mungia was asked who would he want next, and Jaime Mungia mentioned 3 of the top 4 middleweights in the division. He spoke about Canelo Alvarez going after him. He spoke about going after Jamal Charlo, and he talked about going after Triple G. What was notoriously missing in that top lineup was his mandatory, the person he should be going after because of the title he won. He won the WBO Intercontinental Belt, which puts him in position and mandatory for Demetrius Andrade. I thought this was really weird that he left out Demetrius Andrade's name. This is a Golden Boy fighter, and just like Canelo Alvarez, Demetrius Andrade is off of his lips. I tell you guys, Demetrius Andrade is notoriously ducked in the division. And once again, Jaime Mungia is just perfect evidence that he wants no part of Demetrius Andrade. Eddie Hearn had to remind on Twitter, Jaime Mungia and Golden Boy, that Jaime Mungia is actually the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade's WBO belt, which is notoriously, his name was not mentioned in Jaime Mungia's lips. I'm telling you, this is the most duck fighter in boxing today, Demetrius Andrade. I've heard nothing from Jamal Charlo for the offer that Demetrius Andrade has offered him. Demetrius Andrade can't get no fights. We know that he's almost, at least unofficially, he's banned from Canelo Alvarez and Triple G's post-fight discussions, post-fight conferences that they have. This guy is being notoriously ducked by these guys, and I do not know why. Okay? Billy Joe Saunders looks like he's going to land the Canelo Alvarez fight. It also looks like Canelo Alvarez is going to get Billy Joe Saunders. That's the next opponent that Canelo will be facing. And while that is a good opponent, as was Sergey Kovalev, we must not forget that he had a mandatory in Jamal Charlo, who he never faced. All right, he was bailed out by the WBC, becoming franchise champion, and in order for him to become undisputed, which he said he wanted to be last year, all he had to do was set up a fight with Demetrius Andrade for the WBO title, and he could have done that right after he had beaten Danny Jacobs. Instead, he looked, and Golden Boy looked for many ways to have a fight with somebody else, eventually facing Sergey Kovalev 2 weight classes up. So he had notoriously avoided Demetrius Andrade, calling Demetrius Andrade boring, and that he had no interest in that fight, even though he said he wanted to become undisputed champion. Let us never forget that. Showing you that Canelo Alvarez also did not want to fight with Demetrius Andrade. We already know Triple G turned down the fight with Demetrius Andrade, literally saying, I don't want to face that guy, and faced some dude who was undefeated, yes, but he is nowhere near the top tier competition, ducking Demetrius Andrade. Let us not forget that Danny Jacobs made the excuse that Demetrius Andrade was his little brother and that he knew him and they were friends. Therefore, he probably would never face Demetrius Andrade. I'm saying all of this just to say that Danny Jacobs is in a position right now where he would probably never face Demetrius Andrade, showing you how notoriously duck this fighter really is. And Demetrius Andrade doesn't make a statement of it. He doesn't say, oh, these guys are ducking me. He doesn't say that like how Terrence Crawford does. No, he actually is trying to make the fights. He's genuinely trying to make these fights. He put out an offer to Jamal Charlo that to this day, like how Deontay Wilder would say, to this day, okay? To this day, Jamal Charlo has not responded to Demetrius Andrade's offer to him. There's been no statement by Jamal Charlo staying mum on Demetrius Andrade. When interviewed about Demetrius Andrade, Jamal Charlo had this to say. He said, oh, he's been knocked down a number of times in his fights, that he's nothing to face, and he does not present a challenge. This is the guy that has been universally ducked by all of the top welterweights in the division, the top middleweights in the division. And here's the other thing that I want you guys to see, and this is facts. And the only guys talking about this guy being ducked are guys like myself and a few other guys in the division. This guy is on the same platform, the zone, as Danny Jacobs, Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe Saunders, Jaime Mungia, Derevyanchenko, who I forgot to say never mentioned Demetrius Andrade's name also in his call-out list. He talked about Jamal Charlo, who's across the pond. He talked about Triple G and Canelo, never mentioning Demetrius Andrade's name. Demetrius Andrade saying he wants to fight now with Derevyanchenko. I ain't hearing nothing from Derevyanchenko but crickets. And y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all on the Terrence Crawford hype train, but y'all ain't saying nothing about Demetrius Andrade being universally ducked by the entire fucking division. Nobody's talking about it. I just wanted to say he's being ducked, and he's really blatantly being ducked by these guys. These guys are ducking him. That's exactly what it is. There's no to or fro about that. There's no if or buts about that. Demetrius Andrade is being ducked. And the thing about it is, he's not even trying to say that he's being ducked. He's not even trying to yell out, these guys ain't want to face me, like Terrence Crawford saying. They don't want to face me and all this bullshit. And then when a guy's presented to him, he don't want to face him. It's not that. It's not that at all. Okay? This guy is genuinely being ducked. And they don't even want him in their press conferences. They're trying to keep him away from them. And it's so blatant and obvious. These guys saying they're not interested in a fight with him. You know, the same language that Terrence Crawford said about he not interested in a Sean Porter fight. That kind of shit, okay? This is the kind of thing that we're dealing with, okay? Why aren't you guys talking about how Demetrius Andrade is being ducked so much and how much you want to see Demetrius Andrade face one of these guys? Why aren't you guys really talking about the guy who's really ducked in his division? Ain't nobody at the top tier right now trying to face Demetrius Andrade. Nobody. Now, Jaime Mungia, he's only 22 years of age. He's a young guy. But nonetheless, he is directly in line to face Demetrius Andrade next. By the way, as we're saying that, Danny Garcia is actually the #1 contender right now in the WBO for Terrence Crawford's belt. Isn't that interesting? Now I'm hearing Danny Garcia saying he changed his tune and said, let Bob Arum, you know, make a serious offer, and man, we will consider it. That's what he's saying now. We will see. We will see. Okay? But again, Terrence Crawford is always welcome to a Danny Garcia fight. He actually said it in an interview just very recently. He came out and said that, hey man, that would be a good fight. He had won in the amateurs. I had won in the amateurs. That would be a good fight. I'm telling you, that's a hell of a fight as well. All right? And I pray God Terrence Crawford gets one of them guys. He had to get Sean Porter or Danny Garcia. He's very close to getting those fights now. Those are tangible, edible fights that Terrence Crawford can get. I'm telling you right now. He is closer and closer in the position. Because of the noise he made, I'm telling you, he's going to get them fights. He's going to get them fights, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I don't understand why he would want to go up to 154 and face a dude. But hey, if he wants to go up to 154 and grab a belt, you know what? I changed my mind and my position on that. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You know what? Let me just tell y'all. I'm not a Terrence Crawford hater. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say this. Whatever gets him into a position where he can best get the biggest fights. And I ain't mad at Terrence Crawford. I mean, you should be looking to unify as well. You should be trying to get the top tier guys. My problem is, if you say you're looking to unify, but you can't get the unification, right? Let's say Pacquiao ends up facing Errol Spence, okay? And what does Terrence Crawford do next? Now, Terrence Crawford knows that this fight with Errol Spence is happening this year. He knows that. It's almost a guarantee he's going to get the Errol Spence fight, okay? So I'm happy for him, all right? I ain't mad at Terrence Crawford. Like I said before, I'm not one of them guys. I'm not a hater of Terrence Crawford. And a lot of you guys don't understand it, but that's beside the point. The point is that this guy is now in a position where he is going to get the top guys, okay? Whether it's before or after he gets Errol Spence, he's going to get them, okay? I'm telling you, he's in a nice position right now. And that's all because he chirped. He really put in the work and started to talk. And I think he's going to get them fights. He's going to get those fights. I'm hoping and I'm praying for him because I want to see those fights. I want to see the fight. I don't know about y'all, but I want to see those fights. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him face some of them top tier guys. My only thing is, don't be calling for the best and all this shit. And then when guys start really knocking down your door, you start facing another fucking bum. That's my thing. All right? That's my thing. That's my only thing. This Patrick, whatever his name is, the Brazilian dude, I think he's suspended right now for a month. Maybe because of the last fight he had, which was grueling or whatever. I didn't research him really. All right? I heard he's okay fighter. My thing is this. All right? Adrian Broner is a guy that used to face all comers. I give him that. But when he picked up belts against guys like Alec Verdiev. Who the fuck was Alec Verdiev? We didn't know who Alec Verdiev was. That's all I'm saying. You know, when you look at the titles he actually won, it's against guys nobody really knows about. I'm not saying they wasn't good fighters or anything like that. I'm just saying nobody knew who they were. All right? But the thing about Adrian Broner was he faced some names. So when he fought at super lightweight and beat Alec Verdiev, it set it up for a Mikey Garcia fight. Now, he lost the fights. All the name fighters, except for Paulie Malignaggi, he lost to. He lost to Marcus McDonough. He lost to Sean Porter. He lost to Mikey Garcia. Once he stepped up, he lost to them guys. Now, the thing about it is he got the fights. He got the Pacquiao fight. He got the Sean Porter fight. He got the Mikey Garcia fight. All right? These are legendary names. He can always talk about he faced these legendary names. So Adrian Broner's still a name in boxing. No matter what he do, he's still a name. All right? And he did beat Antonio DeMarco, who had beaten Jorge Linares. Okay? You know, he got some names on his resume. Not the greatest names in the world, but, I mean, he got some names. Now, Terrence Crawford's the same thing. He's got some names on his resume, but not the greatest names in boxing right now. Okay? His best name is Yurkus Gambo. Okay? That's his best name. That's the truth. It's his best name. I'm not trying to make up shit. All right? All of y'all know Gamboa was undefeated. Gamboa was 3-divisional world champion. Okay? Gamboa was beating guys like Ponce de Leon. You know, back in the early days we're talking about now, when Ponce de Leon was really something. You know what I'm saying? At the weight class that Ponce de Leon was on. Okay? He beat Orlando Salido. You know what I'm saying? He beat what's the kid's name? Dolly Perez, when Dolly Perez was something. Okay, Dolly Perez was undefeated. He had the regular belt. The real champion was, I can't remember who at lightweight. I think it was Terrence Crawford. Okay, but Dolly Perez was a good name. He was a good fighter. You know, other guys have beaten his ass since then, but I'm just saying he was a good fighter, undefeated at tech. And you know, Gamboa stepped up to lightweight and beat Dolly Perez. This is just before the Terrence Crawford fight. So I mean, Gamboa when he really faced the real names, of course, every time he stepped up and faced the real names, he has been beaten. Okay, but my point being that he's beaten some really good, okay fighters. Okay, this is the same thing with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has beaten some really good, okay fighters. Ricky Burns, the okay fighter, his best fighter that he beat. You know, Ricky Burns is the next one in line. American was washed up already, and I don't even know why American fighting still. Okay, you're gonna have the Kell Brook fight get dusted, and that will be that, right? But anyway, at the end of the day, you know, American is just a name, and it's a good name. It's a good fucking name. He is a legend when it comes to super lightweight. He's beaten legends. He's beaten Hall of Famers. He's beaten some dudes. Okay. My point anyway is that Terrence Crawford's best name is Gamboa. So what I'm saying is now, he about to get some real names. Danny Garcia's got a rich history. You know, don't be talking down like Danny Garcia because y'all either don't know shit or what. Danny Garcia's got a resume comparable to Amir Khan and surpassing it. Okay. Amir Khan faced Marco Antonio Barrera. Danny Garcia faced Eric Morales twice. Okay. Amir Khan faced Zab Judah. Danny Garcia faced Zab Judah. Amir Khan faced Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia faced Amir Khan. Amir Khan faced Lamont Peterson. Danny Garcia faced Lamont Peterson. Khan lost to Lamont Peterson. Garcia won against Lamont Peterson. Amir Khan faced Lucas. No, he did not face Lucas Matisse. Danny Garcia faced Lucas Matisse. Amir Khan did not face Lucas Matisse. Okay, that's the legendary super lightweight career. Danny Garcia supersedes Amir Khan in that Danny Garcia was able to move up to welterweight, face some of the top tier welterweights like Keith Thurman and Joe Porter. He did not win against them, but he became WBC world champion, the champion at welterweight. I think he beat Robert Guerrero or something like that to get that title. And then after that, he went on to lose to Keith Thurman and Joe Porter, but in some very competitive fights. Okay? Very competitive fights. That's Danny Garcia's resume. And so he did a little bit better than Amir Khan, and he's still very relevant in boxing, and he's still beating some good names in boxing. But when it comes to the top guys at welterweight, once again, he has not been able to beat those guys. All right? And Amir Khan ain't even faced them guys, so we ain't even talk about that. Okay? He's been fishing around. When he steps up and faces one of them top guys, he gets knocked the fuck out. Okay? I don't know why he went and faced Canelo, but Canelo knocked him, like, he knocked him into the next century, right? And Terrence Crawford was battering him up. I mean, beating the shit out of him. He was coming back a little bit in the fight, but Terrence Crawford was just gonna knock his ass out, right? We all know that was where that was headed. My point being, Terrence Crawford has the opportunity now to really face some of his best challenges in boxing today. These are guys that in the amateurs beat him, okay? From Dennis Ugas to Danny Garcia. Sean Porter was at a higher weight class. Keith Thurman was at a higher weight class. You know, Errol Spence was at a higher weight class. These guys were bigger guys than him. But, you know, Danny Garcia, Dennis Ugas, these guys actually beat him in the amateurs. These would be good competitive fights for Terrence Crawford. Sergey Lipinets is on the side. We have Kell Brook coming back into boxing. He didn't come back yet. He was trying to make some fights, but he couldn't get the fights made. So Kell Brook's coming back into boxing as well. And then you have, it's a red-hot welterweight division, Jerome Ennis. I want to talk a little bit about Jerome Ennis' fight against his opponent, which was a tough opponent that he got out of there. One of the things I noticed about Jerome Ennis is he doesn't really have an inside game. He's good at fighting at range from outside, but on the inside he has a hard time. He tried to turn the opponent a number of times, and the other guy, I mean, he was taking shots, but he was a tough guy, and that fight was actually stopped by the referee too soon. All right, it was too early. It was stopped too soon, and that also was pretty shocking because the guy was very angry with the referee after the referee stopped the fight so soon. But one of the things I noticed was that Jerome Ennis, you know, first time I'm actually watching him, He don't have no fucking inside game. He gonna have to develop that. We're talking about him as an upcoming name. Virgil Ortiz got a little bit better inside game than he does, and that's something he's gonna have to pay attention to. All right. As a long-ranging fighter, but he got some nice combinations. He got fast hands. They compare him to Roy Jones Jr. I don't see the Roy Jones Jr. comparison, but Roy was snake-like and very vicious. This guy's kind of more. He's fast. He's got good combinations. He's got nice selection of offense. His defense is a bit suspect. He gets hit by certain shots. But he's a good fighter. He's a solid fighter. And the thing about him is, if he don't have no inside game, he gonna get torn up by a guy like Errol Spence. So I'm just saying, he gonna have to develop that part of his game. But he's strong. He does get hit. His defense is not the greatest. His offense is his defense still, in my opinion. But you guys may tend to differ, okay? Over the weekend, we also had a fight for the super middleweight title in the women's category. It shifted hands to a new champion, who Clarissa Shields immediately called out, and it looks like she'll be going up to super middleweight to try and regain the unified super middleweight titles as well. So that'll be interesting. It's disputable who won that fight. I did not watch the fight, so I'll have to go and watch it before I talk to you guys. The other one that we had to talk about is Jesse Hart versus Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. actually took that fight, and I thought he was going to take it, because I was watching the Joe Smith Jr. Again, the guy just looks solid and strong, and it seems as though Jesse Hart got his ass whooped. I'll have to go watch the fight. I didn't watch the fight yet, so I'm going to have to talk about that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am what you need. Like I said before, that you're watching my channel. My name is Really Anson Phillip. If you want to donate to my channel particularly, you can donate to it via Western Union or MoneyGram. And the details, you'll need my location, that kind of stuff. I can supply to you so you can actually donate to my channel. I will be talking some more boxing. I'm sorry I couldn't do a live feed with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do forget, if you like it and you like the content that you're seeing, that you can donate to my channel. It'll be very helpful in helping me to progress to do more of these videos. The reason why you don't see me as frequently doing videos, because I'm doing other business to make sure I generate cash so that I can stay alive. And you would be directly helping me out financially by donating to my videos. So I just want to let you guys know that. To all my subscribers, wish you the best for 2020. I'm going to catch you guys later on the next video. Peace.